Welcome to the Marvel Mindset, a podcast from ex-Marvel CEO Peter Cuneo. Listen as Peter shares inside stories of what it took to turn around Marvel. Here's your host, Peter Cuneo.
Well, welcome back. So we've been talking about turnarounds, and I'm often asked, what defines a successful turnaround, Peter? You say that you've been successful in every turnaround. Well, what does that mean? How do you prove that? And that's a very good question, actually. And I suspect that there are multiple definitions of a successful turnaround, but I can give you mine. First of all, I want to mention, and again, I have no data on this, but my impression is that 9 out of 10 turnarounds fail. And again, I don't think anyone tracks data on this, but it's simply because these are difficult situations. And most turnarounds occur in situations where no one could turn them around. There's been a change in an industry, or the company just really has lost their way to the point where they just can't be rejuvenated, and so on. So there's a lot of that. You're not going to hear a lot of press about those kinds of situations. You will hear press about the big turnarounds that fail, but you'll also hear a lot of press about the turnarounds that work out, including Marvel. So 9 out of 10 fail. My definition of a successful turnaround is pretty simple. First, I do think it takes about 3 years to declare that you've had a successful turnaround, particularly in a business that's a multinational type of business or non-business multinational needs in a particular organization. It's definitely a more complex situation to do a turnaround with multiple cultures and what have you. So what I look for is 3 successive years with growth in revenue, growth in sales, and growth in cash flow. And cash is really the key here. Profitability is fine, but the rules of accounting, as I think some of you in the audience know, don't necessarily dictate success. It is possible from an accounting point of view to actually show profits, even though you had a decline in your cash levels. So cash is king in a turnaround, very, very important. And I think it does take 3 years and a successive growth every year, not an up and down situation. Don't go anywhere. More in just a moment.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So then I'm doing IT, and when I go to plug the servers in, they become sentient, and they won't let us access our network unless we forward their chain emails and memes to more and more and more people, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant finds and invites best-fit candidates to apply, so you can discover talent you may have missed. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
And the holy grail of a turnaround is growth in the business, growth in sales, growth in market share in other ways, but solid growth in spite of doing a lot of cost reductions. Now, many people, when you tell them, go into an organization that we have to reduce costs but still grow the business, will immediately say that's impossible. We need more spending to push up our revenues, our sales, expand our business, bring in new customers. But actually, that's not the case. And I'll give you one example that happened in several of my turnaround situations. This is something that really didn't affect Marvel directly, but is an important element. I would often go to an organization where the advertising was on the products was actually average at best. And by finding new people to do the advertising, new agencies, and creating very, very special breakthrough advertising about our products, we actually could spend less money on advertising and still get revenue growth. Take special people to do that, but they are out there. There are a lot of examples of this, and I think it's very, very important. For Marvel, our own advertising per se was not really very large at all. We were dependent on other people to do advertising. So that particular dynamic did not fit Marvel, but it will fit many, many other turnarounds. Well, that's it for today. I just want to say thank you very much. We'll be on again next Monday, as promised, with more about Marvel and the Marvel mindset. I'm Peter Cuneo. Thanks for joining us.